Using SMARTIO, Navigation Mode. Lesson 1, SMARTIO Navigation Mode, VoiceOver, iOS. Switching and checking OS. SMARTIO supports two types of OS, iOS and Android. Switching to iOS mode, press Mode button, L1 and Volume down button. You will hear
iOS mode.
Switching mode. Press the Mode button to switch between Navigation mode and Input mode.
Input mode.
Press R4 key for more than 3 seconds in Navigation mode to switch to Braille mode. You will hear
Braille mode.
To switch back to Navigation mode, press the Mode button again.
Navigation mode.
SMARTIO Navigation Mode, VoiceOver, iOS. Let's check how to hold SMARTIO correctly to use Navigation mode. Hold the SMARTIO facing the keypad with the power button on the bottom of the device. Your SMARTIO and smartphone keyboard should be synchronized in English. Navigation mode command is compatible with VoiceOver of iOS. Shall we check network status and battery life of the device before navigating the apps? Press L2 and N11 to move to the status bar. Check the network status and battery life with selecting relevant items by pressing L2 and N6, selecting the next item, and L2 and N4, selecting the previous item. Let's check which apps are on the home screen. You can read from the top by pressing L2 and N3. Pause or resume reading by pressing N10. Press L2 and N1 to read from the current position. Let's check the weather. Find the weather app by pressing L2 and N6, selecting the next item, and L2 and N4, selecting the previous item. To activate the selected item, press L2 and R2. After checking the weather, go back to the home screen by pressing L2 and N9. Introducing convenient functions. To mute or unmute VoiceOver, press L2 and N7. To turn the screen curtain on or off, press L2, L4, and N3. To open the notification screen, press L1, L2, and N2. To open Control Center, press L1, L2, and N5. To open the app switcher, press L2 and press N9 twice. To touch and hold the selection item, press L2, L4, and N11. To change the label of the selected item, press L2 and R4. In order to return to the home screen from any screen such as Notification Center, Control Center, etc., press L2 and N9. To go back to the previous screen, L1 is a widely used function in phone calls, messages, internet, etc. Shall we check several commonly used functions? First, L2 and N12, which have the same function as double tap with 2 fingers in iOS. This function is widely used to receive and hang up the call and pause or start music, etc. L2 and N2, which is the same as swipe up, and L2 and N5, which is the same as swipe down, are also commonly used in menu calls, app switcher, rotor, etc. Finally, shall we adjust the speaking rate control of VoiceOver using rotor function, which is indispensable in iOS? To adjust VoiceOver speaking rate using the rotor, press L2, L3, and N4, or L2, L3, and N6. Press L2, L3, and N2, or L2, L3, and N5 to adjust the speed. Quick Search Mode. You can use several functions easily and conveniently with fewer keys when running Quick Search Mode. Press N4 and N6 to activate Quick Search. To deactivate, press the same key. Select the next item with N6 and select the previous item with N4. To select the next item specified by the rotor, press N2. To select the previous item specified by the rotor, press N5. To select the first item, press N10 and N2. And then to select the last item, press N10 and N5. To double tap, press N2 and N5. To scroll up, press L1 and N2, and then to scroll down, press L1 and N5. To scroll left, press L1 and N4, and then to scroll right, press L1 and N6. To adjust the rotor, press N2, N4, and N2, N6. Please refer to the text manual to check more details about navigation mode.